Yo, Poke26 here, and today I wanted to show some of the Frieren and Himmel content within the game AFK Journey. This is honestly not a game I would have even particularly looked at myself if it wasn't literally advertised with this collaboration alongside So no Frieren. But I did end up checking it out because they did have the collaboration. And so I just kind of want to show there's like this story in there. I believe there's like 20 parts to the story, so I'm gonna show that. And then before that, I am probably also going to show a bit of whatever other content there is related to Frieren and Himmel within the game, such as what you can even see here on screen. If you prefer to just see the story itself, I shall have timestamps for that, so you can skip to that. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So as you can see here, you can use Frieren for, I believe, like your name cards and stuff, like you got here. And you can get little headgear here. So you got this little Frieren headgear on like main character. And I think you can also get, what's the headgear? And you can also have a Himmel headgear if you prefer Himmel. And not sure if there's much else to show on this page. Oh, right. We got so you got avatar here. So you can have the Frieren avatar, you can have the Himmel avatar. You got the frame with Frieren and Himmel on the side and sort of like blue stars, maybe reminiscent of the meteor shower or something, looking up at the sky. And you got titles. So these are the Frieren titles, Spellstruck and Maze. I assume Maze is supposed to be maybe partly related to like Labyrinth or something, not sure. And then you got Upbeat and Hero, which are the titles for Himmel, for having the affinity high. Yeah, let's think about it there. And then apart from that, as you can see here, they have their own station within the game. You can see the little icon here. And they got their little house, the little fields with plants that you can do for like this sort of mini game. And you can actually get a decoration. So if you've done enough with it, you get the decoration here at the top that you can see. It's like the same house. You can put it wherever you want, so that when this event ends, you know, still have that, I guess. But yeah, the event itself here, as you can see, they got them in their little store here together, and I believe they're selling. Well, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but they're selling some sort of magic books or grimoires, I guess, with different spells, and the spells are earned through the research that you do yourself, and these researches are essentially like a little mini game with Frieren, just kind of navigating to the different spots through, you know, these different tools that you're given. The tools are given through the plants that you plant. But yeah, there's all sorts to it, and then there was a bunch of rewards to this and so on, so pretty cool. And I think the only other thing to show really is the characters themselves. So I've obviously focused on leveling them because that's pretty much the only reason I even played the game at all. I'm not sure if I'll really play beyond this, you know, beyond this event, but I had fun with it for what it was, just leveling these characters. And as you can see, we got Frieren here, who I've leveled up a lot. Level up her staff. Still more to level on it, but you know, done pretty well. And yeah, she's got different skills. She's got a lot of the skills you'd recognize from the anime. So you have Zoltarak, Jirajirim, Volzambel, which you all see in the main fight in the anime, or one of the main fights in the anime, I should say. And then a few other basic skills. And then there's also Himmel here, which again has his Himmel sword, hero sword that you can level as well. He's labeled as a warrior. Obviously, Frieren was labeled as a mage. And yeah, for Himmel's skills, which I guess we don't really see in the first season any of the anime, any of Himmel's skills particularly, or at least not named. But here we got like it's just named heroic dash. Hero party, basically buff allies, and then blue moon blessings, or the blue moon weed flower, of course. And yeah. But apart from that, there's also the affinity section here. When you get their affinity high enough, you actually get these little tails, or just little snippets of whatever. So Bryn's favorite things, Mercury pudding and magic books and so on. You got all these. I'll let a little bit of time to look over these, but you might have to pause to read some of them if you want to check them out. But I'll scan over them. Yeah, that's it for those tales. And there's the voiceovers as well for when you're actually battling or like playing the game. I currently have it on Japanese voiceover and then like English text. So the voice lines here are Japanese as well, but I believe you can probably do it English voice lines too if you prefer that, of course.
面白い魔法だね。好きだらけだね。ここにも面白い魔法がありそうだね。終わったよ。思ったより簡単だったね。失敗しちゃった。
And then we'll go over the Himmel ones as well. Also, Affinity Tide, and let you read over these too. Don't forget to pause if you need to check them out. And yeah, those are the tales included for Himmel. And then we got the voiceovers as well.
かっこいいところを見せないとね。うん、いい感じだ。行くよ。すまない。勝ったね。さあ、楽しい冒険の始まりだ。
And yeah, I think that's, as you can see, listed as the legendary hero, the legendary mage. There's also different skins, I guess. So these ones require like an event bundle, so this is more of like a paid thing, but technically there are different skins to be used. For Frieren at least, it looks like Himmel doesn't really have any. And yeah, I think that's about it for what I wanted to include there. So now I shall just go straight to the story mode. Because the only other thing to show is maybe how they look in actual combat, which maybe I'll do at the end. I'm not sure on that. But because it's not, I don't know. It's kind of just a messy fight with lots of different fighters if I do that, so not the easiest to really show. but maybe I'll do it quickly afterwards to show something. Anyways, apart from that, we shall go to so you can recruit them here, but we shall go to the story mode. So after you've got everything else here, there's also a story, which is Enduring Wish. As you can see, I haven't checked these out myself, apart from technically click the first one, but the first one mostly is an intro. I'll look at it again anyways. Yeah, as I go through these, I will probably react to some of them a bit, but I will do the reactions after each part rather than like during it. So you can kind of just read along yourself and then, you know, think about it and react, or listen to my reaction afterwards type of thing. Yeah, it's titled The Day the Snow Fell, and chapter 1 is Unusual Visitors. So this is, as far as I know, just kind of introducing them to this world, the AFK Journey world. So we'll look at it again. Yeah, as you can see, that's just kind of introducing them, talking about the visitors coming in. Apparently the autoplay kind of skips through a little bit too fast, so I shall manually do it on the future ones. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I'm sure you can just pause for that one, and hopefully you won't have to pause in the future ones, because I'll give like a couple seconds at the end of each line to read it over. But yeah. Go to chapter 2, the Mage and the Hero. So hopefully we start seeing Frieren and Himmel actually now. go with chapter 2. I totally thought Frieren was gonna say throw in a grimoire when asked about like what sort of reward and stuff. When the dude's just like, give you some gold coins and stuff. Throw in a grimoire. Sold. But no, it was more of just Himmel mentioning maybe I forget exactly what it said, like magic tools or something, but yeah, or magic books, I don't remember. Yeah, just kind of introduced him to the world. Talked about the Hypofiends, which I believe are just kind of like the enemies of within this game, or the antagonists in general, for the most part. Maybe there's good Hypofiends too, but yeah. But yeah, they'd be equivalent of the demons to some extent, I guess. So let's get on to chapter 3, Snowstorm and the Rift. There's chapter 3. So kind of just delving more into exactly how they got here, I guess, or that they didn't necessarily come here intentionally and they want to get back type of thing. Yeah. Moving on to chapter 4. Hypofiends spotted. Oh, so they do actually have some little fights here. So I don't even need to show any other fights in particular. I can just show these to show off a little bit of their skills and stuff. However, I probably need to add other characters because I'm not sure. Maybe Himmel and Frieren can just take this on their own. Maybe I should try that. Then you can just see their skills and no one else's. We'll check. Yeah. So it looks like they can take it on their own. Zoltarak from Frieren kinda puts in work in this game. As you can see. There's a little animation after fights as well. Oh, so chapter 4 was just a little battle, not like story. Alright, chapter 5, The Cabin. Another actually pretty quick one. So that ended quite quickly. Just progressing on. Looks like maybe this is another fight again too. Yeah, that was chapter 5. Now we're on chapter 6, The Frostbloom. I think that's what it says. I don't know what else it would say. For some reason I can't read the M very well. But yeah. And the overall section, how should I call this? Chapters and episodes or something? I don't know. Anyway, the overall section is A Flower for Someone. And then chapter 6, The Frostbloom. And we get another fight. I will, since I already showed off their fighting in the previous one, I'll just add some other characters because why not? I've already seen them by themselves. So here's how they can operate alongside others. Frieren's still the carry. Partly because I boosted her the most, but partly because she just is... That's kind of her role, is to be a huge damage dealer. Yeah, that was chapter 6. Now we're on chapter 7, Saving the Graveborn. Graveborn is kind of like a, I guess, a class within the game. Or a faction, I guess, would be more accurate, maybe. So yeah, we'll see which Graveborn they're talking about, but it's like a faction, I believe. Alright, that was chapter 7, I believe. And next we got chapter 8, the Graveborn's Reasons. Maybe Graveborn is... I mean, it's kind of like a faction in the game, but maybe it's more just literally saying a type of person, which is an undead-like person. I don't know. I don't know the full lore of the game itself, so... but you get the idea, I guess. Yeah, chapter 8, I believe, right? Graveborn's Reason. Alright, so it seems like we're kind of getting into the bulk of the story now, and it seems to be some sort of, well, the bulk of the story that's not Frieren and Himmel. I'm sure there'll be part of the story as well, Frieren and Himmel actually getting back to their world type of thing, but yeah, it seems to be a tale of, you know, love and sickness and trying to heal them, or maybe even immortality a bit. I'm not sure on that exactly, what the flower entails, but yeah. Anyways, chapter 9, the shared past. So maybe we'll learn more about the two of them, Oksana and did they even name him? The Graveborn? I feel like the Graveborn dude had a name, but I don't remember his name now. And maybe it'll be the two of them. Or maybe it'll be linking Frieren and Himmel to them in some way. Like the correlations between them. I don't know. Yeah, that was chapter 9. So I think this is meant to have a sort of, I guess, probably in relation to Himmel, like his reflection on the short amount of time that he'll be able to spend with Frieren, right? Compared to her lifespan, which obviously is much, much longer than a human's lifespan. So I think that's where the story's going, or has already gone. So yeah, that was chapter 9. Now we're on a new section, which is A Wish Long Buried, in chapter 10, Curious Magic. Pretty short chapter. Not really much to say about it. Kind of just progressing through. Yeah, just kind of Frieren and Himmel seeing what they can do in the situation to help in any way they can, which is obviously meant to just be a sort of Himmel thing, right? Always be helping others whenever you can, in even the smallest ways, to make a impact on their life, right? So next chapter, chapter 10 or 11. I think it's chapter 11. Yeah, so chapter 11, Village's Request. Alright, so that was chapter 11. And yeah, it seems like a sort of just small heroic deeds. Not even really heroic deeds, just deeds. Like small tokens of appreciation towards Himmel for helping in any way that he does, and so on. And also Oxiana's being kind of separated from everyone because of her relation with the Graveborn, right? Yeah, we are now on chapter 12, which is Wish Bottle. Alright, so that was chapter 12. And as you can see, a lot of correlations between this group and Himmel and Frieren, of course. You got the meteor shower, you got the aging and sort of, you know, partying at death type of thing, and yeah. Not much more to say, just kind of take it in and see where it goes by the end. Maybe they'll get to see meteor shower by the end, just like it's like in the first episode of the anime. Yeah. All right, so we are on the next section, which is what won't break. Probably referring to like their love or bond or whatever you want to associate it with, or their wishes for each other type of thing. Yeah. Chapter 13, The True Wish. Alright, finally getting through to him. And we'll see where it goes. That was chapter 13. Now we're on chapter 14, which is just going to be another battle again. Chapter 14, Final Foe. Okay, and then chapter 15, Promised Flower Field. Pretty short chapter, but just them getting back together essentially. And it looks like there's around 17 chapters. I thought it was around like 20, but I believe this is the end at 17, if I'm not mistaken. Right? We got 5, 4, 3, 12, plus another 3 is 15. So yeah, 16 and 17. So last section, Flowers and Shooting Stars. And it's chapter 16, Flower Magic. Looks like looks like there's actually a reward here, and you get the little blue flower, like blue moonweed flower wreath crown. I think they call it flower crown or whatever. Maybe check that out after real quick. Yeah. And of course, we get to see Frieren casting her magic to create a field of flowers, which we know so much of from the anime. And what is, I believe, the final chapter now, chapter 17. Yeah, chapter 17. Belated Meteor Shower. So we get to end once again with a meteor shower, I believe. yeah, there you have it, the final chapter. And I kind of like that nice touch of like having the meteor shower, kind of knowing that there was going to be a meteor shower, but them not actually seeing it themselves. Which, you know, if you're trying to tie this into like the actual story, creates a little more meaning when they see their own meteor shower, right, back in their own world with Frieren and Himmel. So it was a nice touch to do it this way rather than, you know, copying that as well and having them see the meteor shower here, even though it was technically not a true meteor shower, it was like a spell created one, but I'm sure it looks cool, right? Yeah, that is the story. All 17 chapters. And yeah, I think is all right. Obviously, only real complaint I would say is it would have been cool to have it like voice acted or something, but maybe that's, you know, asking too much or costing too much or whatever, right? But it was good for what it was. Nice little addition there. And we can check out this real quick. So this is what got unlocked. This little I believe it's blue moonweed flower because it's the blue flower, right? But I guess I'm not sure if it was called that or not. Yeah, cool. That'll be it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. Don't forget to, you know, like and subscribe if you want to check out any of my other content. This isn't normally the sort of content I do, but yeah, there's a lot of gaming content there. If you're interested in any of that, feel free to check that out as well. That'll be it.